Hey, welcome back. This is the series where I take 10 of my friends, they give me some rules, and intend to make me suffer my way through a Pokemon game. We've kinda conquered Kanto, taken on Johto, and that of course brings us to Hoenn. The support so far on these has been insane, so thank you guys so much, and if you missed out on Red or Silver, definitely check those out as well. As always, the bar has been raised yet again, and I can't wait to see what wacky stuff my friends come up with in this one. If you're new here and haven't seen one of these before, then here's what's going on. I've gathered up 10 of my bestest friends and sectioned them off throughout the region of Hoenn, asking them to tap into their inner creatives and give me a set of rules and tasks that I must abide by and somehow beat the game with. These rules can literally be anything their hearts desire, and I have to carry out the task or I lose. So for example in this, Callum has from the starter till I beat Roxanne, and then Callum's rules stop and Gabe's begin. A pretty simple concept, but if you don't quite understand, don't worry, you'll see. Now that we've got that out of the way, let's run through the FAQ real quick. Will you be replacing friends every episode? Not really. Not unless they don't want to be in the video or have scheduling conflicts or whatever the case may be. I'm thinking of this as almost like a TV show, and I'd rather you guys get to know the current cast, if that makes any sense. Maybe I'll do a season 2 or something like that, but for now you're pretty much stuck with the regulars. Also, do you expect me to have 90 friends? Why don't your friends just do this so you lose? Because my friends understand what entertainment is. They may make me miserable, but there's always a way out. It's a life lesson. I should do X. The cool thing about this is there's so many potential ideas for spin-offs, and I do plan on utilizing that, but I mean, what's a super sick series idea if you don't beat it to death and capitalize as much as possible? You need new friends / why do your friends hate you so much? They actually don't. They're going out of their way to make time for me and, in extension, us to help make these videos. There may be some pent-up feelings with some of them that I need to look into though. Can you do X generation next? Well, I've kind of got a theme going here. You broke X person's rule because you did a loophole. That's not really a question, more of a statement, but hey, if I find a fault in their wording, that's fun for me and I will continue to do it. If you don't like it, well, that's too bad. Fun fact, I also wanted to be a lawyer growing up. Also, you guys have been asking for this non-stop, so this time around I've asked my friends to not make me release any Pokemon. So there's that for you. Let's aim for 10,000 likes on this one, and if you're new here, make sure to subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss an upload. Like 90% of the people that watch my videos just aren't subscribed, and my goal of 100k for the year is right around the corner. Anyways, let's jump right in and see what Callum's got in store for me.
Alright, let's not beat around the bush. I made you buy a DDR pad, so I'm gonna make you use it. Play with the DDR pad. You can configure it in any way you want that's comfortable for you, as long as you're using the pad to play. My only rule, besides playing with the DDR pad, is that I want you to pick a Mudkip with a jolly nature, nickname it Better Whoop. I'm going easy on you here, but I think the DDR pad is more than enough inconvenience on my part. Have fun.
So, about a month ago, Callum made me order a DDR pad, and if you don't know what that is, well, this is what it looks like. And of course, Callum would make me use it in his part, so I got to work. I mapped my D-pad accordingly, my A button to the top right button, the B button to the top left, and my L and R shoulders as the 2 in the bottom. You're supposed to use this on a hard surface, and my room is carpeted, so I think that caused some issues with the pad, picking up some of my movements. It made it a bit difficult to work with, but it's okay because we managed it. It did lead to some pretty funny scenarios, like trying to nickname myself. For whatever reason, the right button was like stuck, so I had to try and hit the letter while it was scrolling through. It was pretty funny watching it back. I was really trying hard not to step off the mat, and I finally got it by using the right button to stop scrolling and then crouching down so I could tap A with my hand. So our first hurdle was overcome. It was almost like a twister pad. I got stuck on a lot of doors throughout this, like when I went to go and fetch May. I struggled so much trying to get out of the door. Anyways, we finally arrived at the starter selection, so I needed to grab a jolly Mudkip. I ended up getting 3 serious ones in a row, and I was worried I had like a broken ROM or something, but eventually after a little of this and a lot of that, I got the right one. Named it Better Whoop as requested, even though that's not true, and yeah, we pretty much crack on. I struggle quite a bit, but once I get my groove on and find my rhythm, it's all uphill from there. I decided not to catch any Pokemon because I kind of just wanted to speedrun my way up to the gym, for obvious reasons. When I got to Rustboro, I decided to try my hand at the speedrun strats. Since Torrent was active, I was just curious to see if my Mudkip could sweep, so I ran into the Pokemon Center, just in case I lost so I wouldn't have to walk my way back up. It started off well and I had hope, but alas, I was just KO'd by Nosepass. Whooper wouldn't have lost that battle, I'm just saying. Anyways, we go round 2 into the gym. I made sure to battle the trainers and then take on Roxanne again. It really wasn't that difficult this time because I gained a level or 2 off of the first gym trainers and then was able to take down Nosepass with water guns pretty easily, netting us our first badge. Right after the battle, my Mudkip also evolved and I done goofed up and I taught over water gun with mud shots, which I guess isn't that bad considering, but anyway, my reaction to that was pretty funny, I think. Next up, let's see what Purple Fire 99's got in store for us.
Purple Fire here, of course. Hello, Whooper. My name is Purple Fire. Of course, as you may know, I'm Purple Fire. In today's challenge, I have no idea where I am at. I think we're going through Rourke. No, it's no. It's not Rourke. It's what's her name? Roxanne. So after you beat Roxanne, you go beat your rival. Okay, go down to Deerfoot Town, and then once you get to the little cave to meet Steven, right? You have to remove all your layers on your Game Boy, Visual Boy. Yeah, you have to remove all your layers. Because that means you can't see anything. You just have to walk around in the dark and have fun.
Okay, nice. This one's not too bad and it gives me some time to catch my breath. So from here, I actually do the story stuff, save the Wingull from the bad man, you know the drill. I also grab my 5 Zigzagoon with the pickup ability because if you don't know how OP these guys are, you are missing out. Especially in Ruby and Sapphire, the pickup ability lets them pick up a lot of useful items, including rare candies, which are going to save me a ton of time grinding. Whereas it was nerfed in Emerald to lock certain items behind level caps. So I assemble my squad here. I probably should have nicknamed them something creative and quirky like and subscribe, but I didn't, so just pretend. Anyways, there isn't really much between Roxanne and Brawly, so using the magic of editing, we find ourselves in Granite Cave. I go ahead and turn my background layers off and channel my inner Zubat, attempting to navigate by using only sound. The only thing I remembered was that if you hug one side of the wall, you'll eventually get out, so I did that, but while doing that, there was also a lot of this. Anyways, with that taken care of, it's time to heal up and take on the main man of this part, Brawly. I was actually surprised at how easily and quickly we managed to take down Brawly. It was just Marshtomp using like 3 mud shots and wiping out his team. Not really much more I can say here.
1, randomize 3 numbers from 1 to 386, and these 3 will be the ones you use up until Watson, and they can't go past level 20. 2 is do the Trickmaster's house, because I said so. 3 is catch a Meryl, and it'll be your partner for Watson's gym, and you can only use the Meryl. You can't use anyone else. You can't evolve him, and you're capped at Watson's ace for levels. And it's doable because I've done it with Lotad. And 4 is after you beat Watson, do a push-up for each time you avoid it up, plus 15 push-ups on cam.
A bit more of the roll of the die here. So let's go ahead and roll our numbers and see what we get. Wow, quite the roster we have here, but we can work with it. So I'm just gonna, bam, there they are. Anyways, it's time to crack on. I decided the easiest way to do this was to just have them magically obtained at level 15 since my cap was 20 and I didn't want to go over it. And to be honest, I didn't want to grind, so that was a good starting point. Anyways, we take out the Aqua Grunts in the museum, dodging pretty much every trainer I can on the way up. After that, we head into the trick house and, well, it's not hard, and since the challenges unlock to the number of badges we have, we only have 1 to do. So we smash that, get trapped against this trainer just below the rival battle because he's got an Auron and all I have are normal moves, but after picking away at it, we get it down. As for the rival battle, our last big hurdle before Watson, it actually doesn't go that bad. I did make an oopsie when I encored this Numel into Ember, but it honestly didn't really matter in the end. And then it became time for the last bit of Sylvie's run. With the threat of physical torture looming over me, I made Sylvie a proposition here, or a proposition as I put it apparently. If I can beat Watson on the first go around, I'm freed from the mandatory push-ups. If I can't though, I've got to do double the push-ups. A little double or nothing action here. She agreed, and I'll take it. You see, I went into this with a plan. I could go get Meryl and Sapphire, right? But the earliest level I can get it is level 13 to the left of Mauville City. So, big brain time here. Sylvs in her initial message to me said to go get Meryl on Route 104, but that's only available in one of the 3rd generation games. So I'm turning to my copy of Emerald to grab one at level 4 to 5. But I'm not just grabbing any Meryl. Oh no, it couldn't be that easy now, could it? I'm aiming to grab myself a gentle or sassy Meryl. Those specific natures will boost my special defense, while also not dropping any of my offensive stats. When I finally snagged the right Meryl, it had a huge power to help me out even more. I'm also taking the time to EV train it. Also, just a note, do you guys care about EV training explanations? Let me know down in the comments if you do or not. because if not, I just won't include them in the video. But and we're gonna do a training Marill time skip. So with our Marill fully trained up, we're gonna transfer it over to my copy of Pokemon Sapphire and get ready to take on Watson. I pondered many strategies here, like maybe just roll outing to victory, spamming Bubble Beam, and hoping I get lucky, but ultimately I weighed the pros and cons, and I think I've got the winning formula. We've got one shot at this, all or nothing, until disaster struck. See, I realized here that my plan to use Brick Break fell apart because I don't actually have Brick Break, and Brawly doesn't give you Brick Break, he gives you Bulk Up. Whatever, it's okay, we'll pivot. We will pivot. So here's my new strat. While I'm setting up, let me explain this. So Watson's got a Magnemite, a Voltorb, and a Magneton. Voltorb's fast, so I'm guessing 2x speeds will allow me to outspeed. Then I'm going to set up 6x attacks and a dire hit. Since Rock Smash is literally pitiful in terms of damage, it's all I can do. But doing something like locking myself into rollout sounds like a terrible idea, especially since I need to mix in heals and everything between buffs. Anyways, once I've juiced up, I get so lucky with Magnemite missing Supersonic here while I heal off the paralysis. I get the crit and down goes Magnemite. Out comes Voltorb, and I'm praying for a crit because a self-destruct from this thing would ruin me, but I luck out. I don't quite kill it, Watson heals, and I finish it off. Out comes Magneton, the final boss. I'm praying, I Rock Smash. It doesn't die, but its defense drops. It Thunder Waves me. I heal, and so does Watson. I go in for the kill, down goes Magneton, it's over. I'm saved from physical labor.
Hello, Whooper. We're here again for part, what part do I got? Hang on. Okay, so I got the 4th gem. Okay, easy, we got this. Rule number 1. No firefighters. You will not be allowed to use any Pokemon that are super effective against fire types. They will be in your PC until you beat Flannery. Don't worry, you can still use super effective moves. Rule number 2. I want you to do some cool biker moves, okay? I want you to go into the cycling road, and I want you to go through it without making any collisions. You cannot crash with anyone. And you have to have your speed up button on the whole time too. Number 3 is easy, but it's a bit long, okay? I want you to pick up the suit sack and collect all the ash. And then I want you to buy a pretty desk and a pretty chair with that ash. After that, I want you to spend all your money to build the prettiest secret base you can make. Ask 3 of your friends to rate it out of 10, and add up those ratings, and then that is your level cap for this run. And this one isn't mandatory, but just be sure to add everyone you battle to your Pokénab. You need a few friends. I've been seeing some loneliness from you.
Alright, nothing too crazy. I like it. So effective immediately, all Pokemon with the rock, ground, and water type will be boxed and I can't use them. So bye bye Marill. For the home designer one, I think I'll have to get started on that one ASAP as the clock is ticking and I think we have quite a bit of battles before we reach Flannery, so it's important to find out our level cap as quick as possible. So it's time to head on up and get the soot sack first off. I pick up a Machop along the way since I don't want to overlevel my Tauros on accident. Grab the soot sack and do this for a very long time. I think in total it's about 14,000 steps, which normally isn't a big problem, except I had to do it on specific tiles. So I loaded up some Netflix, watched some spooky shows, and collected my ash. Once I secured the items, I ran on down to Slateport to spend the rest of my money on decor. I was trying to think of the best way to big brain this, and Sylvie and Lotad are in love with Azurill and Marill. So I knew these 2 plushes alone would guarantee me 2 10s from them at the very least. So from there, I just needed a 3rd decent number. I was aiming for a 5 from anyone at the very least. While I waited for the results to come in, I decided to work on the last part of my challenge from Vetro, the pro biker moment. So I went and I swapped the Acro bike for the Mach bike just to aid myself a little bit. Also, I did hold my speed up button down, but normally it's fast, like faster than the human eye, and with my P-Brain there's no way I'd be able to keep up. But luckily for me, you can change the speed up settings, so I did just that. Vetro didn't say how fast I had to speed up, and my speed up is normally 5 times the normal speed, so I just dropped it down to 3. I lined up at the starting line, and while it still took me a couple of tries, I managed to pull through and cross the finish line in first, even though it wasn't a race. But I did it, and that's what counts. Let's check back and see if we got our final score for the level cap in yet. Oh, and the results were in, but not what I was hoping for. So it's back to the drawing board. See, Callum was a bit harder to impress, so I had to do a bit of a rebrand, netting us a solid 6 from him. So I play a little victory song on my floor notes and then crack on. I've got a bit of story to knock out before I get to Flannery, so let's do that. My battle against Flannery itself was a battle filled with fiery competitiveness, anguish, and even a little bit of love. But in the end, we managed to pull through, all while staying under the level cap set for us. All in all, that was a solid set of challenges, and it really made me put my thinking cap on. Let's see what Nexus has up next for us.
Ta! Okay, Whoop got back in this. Yay, yay, yay. I gave Whoop a goated challenge this time. I figured I want to keep the trend of a gorgeous mon, right? So I wanted this guy to use Spoink. I love Spoink. He's a good friend. Don't trip him. He's holding a choice band, and the Spoink is nicknamed Humphrey. He needs to be nicknamed Humphrey. It is important. And he can only use one move in the gym, locking yourself in. So he cannot use any of the moves. That's it. It's going to be obnoxious, but you know what? I'm going to enjoy watching it.
Alright, so there's not much to Nexus's part, to be fair, so there's not a lot to work with for him. So I run around to grab my Spoink, slap a choice band on it. From there, I migrate down to Petalburg and prep to take on Norman. I end up leveling my Spoink up to 34 so I can get Psychic because there's no way I'm actually going to use a physical move. Plus, Spoink doesn't learn one without TM, and I don't even think I have any to teach it. So the choice band was basically just going to lock me into one move, and that was going to be its only purpose. But yeah, this one was rather easy, which I rate highly because after Nexus made me fight Jasmine with a Lediba, it was a nice change of pace. Anyways, let's see what Mr. Stone is bringing to the table.
Alright Whoop, here are the challenges that I prepared for you. Now that you've beat your dad, it's only fair that he hands down his team to you. You don't have to throw any Pokemon out, but I want you to beat Winona's team with only the 2 Slacking and the Vigoroth on his team. Once you beat her, you're free to have your Pokemon back. Also, now that you have access to Surf, it's time to head to Route 119 and hop on the water. Use your old rod and fetch around until you find a Feebas. If you find the right tile, there's a 50% chance that it'll be there, so I'd highly suggest fishing in each spot twice just to make sure you don't miss a tile. If you manage to evolve your Feebas legitimately, you're more than welcome to use that as your 4th Pokemon in battle.
Alright, so it's not so bad if you think about it, or it's even better if you don't think about it. So I run straight from Norman to go ahead and grab 3 Slackoths from the Petalburg Woods, which actually was a lot easier than I anticipated. Also totally unrelated, but reading John's challenge, I first read Dad as D-pad and my heart sank because I thought he was going to change around my D-pad again. Anyways, I'll worry about training the Slackoths as I go search for Feebas, since it's not required that I use a Slackoth until Winona. Actually, scratch that idea. I clear out the Team Magma members without too much difficulty. My Vigoroths only know Scratch as of now, which isn't super helpful, but once I get Slash, I'll be in the clear, I think. Anyways, we get to our Feebas spot, and I realized that I didn't have the old rod. Mother. Anyways, we're back and start our long and arduous journey of fishing. It was actually a lot more stressful than I thought, but after much pain, and by that I mean like 45 minutes, I managed to find its location. Thankfully, I lucked out and my patience is unrivaled. I don't think I want to evolve this thing though, so yeah, Anyway, I finally arrive in Fortree City, and it's time for the 2 of my Vigoroths to become Slackoths. I was impressed by my puzzle skills here, and my strategy for going into Winona was, well, nothing. I was just planning on winging it. Luckily, my Slackoths were like bulky walls and just kind of ate hits from Winona like they were nothing. Slash, unfortunately, was less than useless on Skarmory, but we fought through it anyway. Anyways, after this dub, I'm feeling pretty confident, so let's see what's up next for us.
Rule 1. First thing I want you to do. Every time you enter a route, city, cave, etc., all them places, you have to catch 6 new Pokemon, and every time you need to put the Pokemon in your team back in the PC and swap them out for the first 6 Pokemon you catch in said route, right? You don't have to catch mons if you're going back to the PC to swap out your mons. Every time you enter a new area, you need to catch 6 new mons, right? Makes sense? Kind of confusing. In my head makes sense, but you know, I'm built different. Second thing I want you to do, this is just me being a bit of a dickhead, you know, it's fine, you know, it's when you walk to Fortree to Lilycove for the first time, just do it blindfolded, you know, yeah, there's no other reason for me just to piss you off a wee bit. Third rule, all the Pokemon you have caught when you get to Mods Deep, yeah. When you get to Mods Deep, with all the Pokemon you have caught from doing Rule 1, get a random number generator from 1 to the amount of Pokemon you have caught and pick 2 numbers on that generator and use them 2 Mons to beat Tate and Liza with. And depending on the Mons, I will give you the max level that they can be, right? And lastly, when facing Tantalizer, you can't use red moves. So no Razor Leaf, no Surf, nothing like that, right? So that's it. You know, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Well, there went my confidence. So basically, with JD, I have to swap my team out each route by catching 6 Pokemon. Also, for the blindfolded walk from Fortree to Lilycove, I think I'll save that for last, just because the routes I cross, I won't actually know if I'm blindfolded. I'm not sure if that made sense, but like I won't know when a new route is if I'm blindfolded, so I won't be able to swap my team. Yeah, I'm not sure, but first things first, I need to stock up on Pokeballs. I'll flash the Pokemon on the routes I team up with on screen as I go, just so I don't waste valuable time by talking. Just know I ended up catching a lot of Shuppet, Wingull, and Tentacool. Jumping over to the Aqua Hideout though, since the only Pokemon I could catch in it was Electrode, I ended up just using my Lilycove team instead. After that, we gotta head to Moss Deep, and before we did that, I wanted to blindfold myself and walk. I thought about recording face cam here, but I just look ridiculous in my blindfold, and so I decided no, but it went a little something like this. And finally, we arrive in Moss Deep. I gather up all my Mons, randomly pick 2 using a generator, which I didn't record, so you'll have to trust me on this. I ended up with the numbers 25 and 35, which were Pelipper and Tentacool, and I consulted JD for my level cap, which he set at 37, so I went into the gym, took a few cracks at it, and just got walloped. Also, just to note, JD banned spread moves, so yeah. I took to the drawing board and thought to myself, man, this Pelipper kinda sucks. So what did I do? Somehow I ended up having a heart scale, so I flew myself on over to Fel Arbor Town. I retaught Pelipper Water Gun. I know, a brilliant use of this mechanic. And with that done, I flew back to the gym to try again, repeatedly bashing my head into the wall until I got it. See, Lunatone would always set up Calm Minds, and I decided that was infinitely worse than anything Solrock could do. So I just ganged up on Lunatone, killed it off, and just sprayed water all over Solrock until victory was eventually mine, thus concluding the horror that was JD's part. If only I knew what was in store for me next.
For some reason. Okay.
So, the first rule that we have here is, you remember Krabby, our good friend, Earl.
How could you forget Earl?
The Krabby. The Krabby.
MVP.
So we want him back, go do the Reggie puzzles, and, well, decapitate all the 3 Reggies. Just
All of them.
head off.
We're gonna pick one. But...
Yeah, but not all 3. All 3. Makes sense.
And then, you're gonna go to Route 119. You know, the river. I think you know where this is going. You're gonna find a Feebas. Feebas?
Why do you keep saying Feebas? Feebas.
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 And you're gonna catch it, and you're gonna evolve it with the berries. Make it very pretty.
Makes it very pretty.
Yes.
So then, number 3, box all other Pokemon besides the Milotic, the Wailord, and the Relicanth, and you can only use these 3 Pokemon for the rest of the section.
And the last rule, the most important rule, we want a Hazel Cam.
We want Hazel.
On, in the corner somewhere, at all times.
At all
on
times.
the screen.
Just
During this
Hazel
whole challenge.
right there. So,
If we
yeah.
can't see Hazel, you lose.
Dislike. It's over. Bye.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right, let me address this first. The thing about Hazel and the Hazel Cam is that Hazel is a beast that can't be tamed. If you're confused, Hazel is my dogter. I can't believe I just said that. I post pics of her in my Discord, so that alone is incentive for you to join. But she likes to sleep under blankets, so I'll record my bed, and maybe if you're lucky, we'll catch a glimpse of her moving about. Also, just so you know, Hazel Cam is live. There's my hand, and if she moves, I'll point it out. Anyways, for the Krabby bit, since the only way to even get Krabby is by trading from Fire Red and Leaf Green, I was thinking I'll just bring our Krabby over from the previous video. I had some difficulty with it, but it's still the spirit of Earl the Krabby, which I know is what Rich and Taylor would have wanted. With that, we carry on taking out the Reggies. Man, I have not done this in such a long time, but I think first we're going to start with Regirock since it's probably the easiest one to awaken. All we need to do is Strength, which I already have. So we're off to the desert. Oh, just kidding. I looked at a guide because I can't be asked to do it myself, and it turns out I need to break the seals first before they'll even appear. So let's go catch a Relicanth. Relicanth shows up in the underwater seaweed with only a 5% chance. So I grab Dive from Steven and struggle to find the seaweed area for a little bit. After a bit of searching, I find it and decided to just clock Sootopolis on my map so I can fly there later and then go start my search for a Relicanth. It actually doesn't take that long comparatively. So Relicanth. Check. We caught a Whalmer in Lilycove from JD's challenge, so check. All that's left to do is go to the dive spot here, go up from the water here, use dig in front of this wall here, and talk to this wall here with Relicanth up front and Wailord in the back. We get the shake and now the Regis appear. So first up on the chopping block is Regirock. I haven't done these since like elementary school and man does it take me back. So Regirock, you walk up to the center, take 2 steps to the right, 2 steps down, and then use strength to open the door. Somehow Earl here lands the first guillotine and that's 1 Reggie down, 2 to go. We head on over to Dewford next. I surf up the complete wrong side of the route and end up on the beaches. And then surf back down the opposite side until I find the right path. The key to Regice is you have to leave the Braille box open for 2 minutes. It'll close and the door will open, revealing Regice. It takes me 2 or 3 guillotine attempts this time, but we finally land it, and with just 1 Reggie to go, the end is in sight. The last Reggie is tucked away between these 2 routes here, so we head there, walk to the center of the room, and use Fly. Down comes the wall, and we enter Berlin, taking Registeel down with another first try guillotine. With that knocked out, the Reggie's decapitated, it's time to move on to my next task, Milotic. So, thanks to John, I already know where to find a Feebas. The problem is the nature was wonky and the easiest way to evolve this ugly fish is to feed it the right Pokeblocks. Make it pretty, and then level it up. So the one I caught for John was not going to fly, so I head back over to the spot since I already knew it and get to fishing. The first Feebas I caught here was a mild nature, which was perfect for what I wanted to do, and it also had Pokerust, surprisingly. So that's pretty useful. Then it's time to collect berries and do a bunch of boring stuff that I'm not going to show because it's boring. You're probably wondering why I'm growing palm egg berries here. No reason, I'm just stupid. I found a list of acceptable berries and palm egg just wasn't on it, but for some reason I grew them. Anyways, we take whatever berries and just toss them into the blender, get our Pokeblocks, and turn our ugly, disgusting little fish into a beautiful sea snake. At this point, I pause my recording session for the day and go take a depression nap. Raylar has broken me. Anyways, once I'm back, I grind up my Wailord, Relicanth, and Milotic, exploring caves and whatnot, battling trainers I missed, and what have you. And then I went to take on the gym, which was still locked. So I went and did the story stuff, you know, taking on Team Aqua, catching Kyogre, nothing special really. Then it's time to take on Wallace, which actually wasn't as hard as I thought it would be. I tried to level cap myself, but before I did the story stuff, I was like level 42, and it was just kind of unavoidable, but anyways, we take him out and move on.
Hello, Wooper. I see you've already made it to Victory Road. Go down. Aren't you good at Pokemon Sapphire? Well, it is time for my rules. Rule number 1. You're only allowed to use Pokemon from in-game trades. There are 3 of them in Pokemon Sapphire. You get wonderful options like Makuhita, Skitty, Corsola. Also, you're allowed to bring 1 Waterfall Mon because you need it into the Victory Road, but you're not allowed to use it in battle. So just bring like a level 5 Tentacool or something. Rule number 2, you have to disable the object's video layer in MGBA. Oh, boom, like that. You're invisible now. Rule number 3, when you get through Victory Road, box your Waterfall Mon, of course. You're only allowed to have the 3 trade Mons ever again in your party. And this includes HM Slaves with Fly, or to get back through Victory Road. Once you're in here, you're stuck. It's done. Now, before you enter the Elite Four, sell all your sellable items, except for full restores. This is the only item you're allowed to bring with you, so stock up on those supreme full restores. Waste of money, but it's the best. This is the best for sale, and I want you to have an easy time. Also, no shenanigans like putting max revives in your item PC and being like, well, I sold all my sellable items, or giving them to your Pokemon and then taking it back out when you're in the Elite Four battles. Nah, that ain't gonna cut it. Only full restores. I'm watching you. Only full restores. Rule 5. Save right before the entrance to the Elite Four. This is the last save you're allowed to do until you've beaten the game. So you're gonna have to have a pretty god run. Rule 6. Also, there's a level cap. I'll put it at level 65. I don't want you to just let it butt it again and get to level 100. I want you to really fucking work and struggle for this, Whooper. Also, a little request. I would like it if you didn't immediately get level 65 and then enter. I want you to give it an earnest try before hitting level cap, okay? Rule 7. Have fun, Whooper.
Very professional, Lotad, and I loved the presentation. 10 out of 10. First order of business, get the trait evolutions. Get Slackoth. Bam. Get Pikachu. Bam. Get Blossom. A bit harder, but bam. So now we trade them and get Maki the Makuhita, Skittit the Skitty, and Corsola the Corsola. Our ragtag team of bandits is now here, and I've got to decide what I'm going to do with them. I definitely think EVs are a necessity here, but I'm not sure if you guys want me to go into this, so I've settled on HP and attack for Makuhita, HP and speed for Skitty, and defense and special defense on Corsola. So fast forwarding to Victory Road, it was miserable and battles looked like this, so I had to trust my guts. Luckily, Leroy made a guide for getting through Victory Road, which helped out a lot, but I'm real tired of these challenges that I just can't see in. And now we're ready to take on the league. I don't think I can ever put the amount of pain I experienced into words that would convey that feeling. So instead, here's a couple clips of my fails. I made it to Steven like 3 different times, and finally, after many attempts, I did it. It took about 2 hours, so however many attempts I can fit in 2 hours, that's how many it took. Corsola hard carried, but everyone had their uses that I found. Like Makuhita and its bulk ups during the Sydney fight, Skitty with Facade during the Drake battle since everything was getting paralyzed anyway, and Corsola pretty much everywhere else, serving as a tank that also did ridiculous damage. I also ran out of PP a lot since Lotad had me run through Victory Road and teach my existing Mons HMs. I was kind of limited on moves I could actually get rid of, but yeah, I even did it in call so I could tell Lotad I hated him for 2 hours straight until I finally did it, and then dropped my controller in happiness, pressing the reset button before I fully get to the champion screen. But it's okay. It's over. I can rest now. 3rd gen is complete. And I guess that means we're on to 4th gen.